Greetings, everybody. We are up and recording. Welcome to the Art Lexcia podcast. This is me, Wesley Pepper. This is episode 222. So closing in on 250 episodes, which is great. So today we're talking, it's a Monday morning, if you know from this recording, we're talking comedy, which I think is a pretty, it's a pretty good way to start the week. We're talking to Tabitha Hoy Forest. An events coordinator, artist manager, and she wears a bunch of other hats. And we'll be talking about comedy in the forest, comedy in the park. Sorry about that. The comedy in the park on the 21st of March, which is the first public holiday for the year. So, firstly, good morning to Tabitha, and welcome. Taking time out. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. It's a nice, quiet morning here. It's and it's at least it's not too hot. At least that yes, at least it's not at least it's not 45 degrees heat. But I'm pretty
Yeah.
good, man. Yeah.
No, I've been hearing some crazy weather from around the country.
I guess it's always a good icebreaker just to start to talk about the weather because everybody's got an opinion about that. It's just one of those icebreakers, small talk like you say. But we're not doing small talk today. We're talking about comedy in the park on the 21st of March, which is later this week. Like I mentioned, is the first public holiday of the year. So but let's start in the beginning a little bit. Can you just give us a little bit of background about yourself? I mean, you wear multiple hats, as most people in the industry do. So what hat are you currently wearing with regards to the show on the 21st?
So probably multiple hats even on Saturday. So it's our brand new venue that we are opening, called the Whirlwind Theater. And so I'm not only a venue owner, but I'm also an events organizer because we've got our very first show, and manager, and I might even be tending the bar at some point. So it's a little bit of
Okay.
everything, really. I can guarantee you I'm not cooking. That I can tell you.
Okay.
That's not going to be
Okay.
happening. So Saturday's our very, very first show at the Whirlwind Theater. Very excited. I can't wait to actually have everybody there because it's such a beautiful venue, and we've got such an amazing lineup for our very first show.
Yeah, we'll get to the lineup. Just slightly offline, we spoke a little bit about the venue. It's an environmental. It's got a history and all this thing. There's birds and all that stuff. I know you don't really know much about it, but is there anything you can highlight about the venue that that people would find interesting?
So if you are in Joburg and you're born in Joburg, generally you'll know Delat Park. A lot of people go running there, walking there, take their dogs, take their kids and everything. So, but a lot of people actually don't know that there is a building in the middle of it called the Delta Environmental Center. If anyone's done a park run, you'll see a big building where you start and finish, and that is it. It's actually the old one of the old sewage works from Joburg. We got a bit of a crash course when we went on a visit the one day. So the building's actually built on top of the old sewage works. So underneath there's a big kind of holding water tank thing. I'm very
Okay.
well educated. I've got all the perfect
Good to know.
ways of this. But the environmental center itself is actually fantastic. It's great for the kids. You can walk around it. You can actually go down underneath into what I think is the old sewage works. They've got trees in there where you can see the different levels of different things. Maybe I should spend a little bit more time in there and get myself educated myself. But it's so interesting. There were actually 4 sewage works in Joburg, and Delta is obviously the 4th one because the Alpha Bravo.
Yeah.
The back there. And Bruma is actually the 2nd one. So I did learn
Okay.
something while I was going there.
I didn't know that.
No, well, you see, now you know as much as I do
Well,
about it. But, yeah, it's such a beautiful space, and they're doing such amazing work there in general, just educating everybody, about the environment and how to look after things, and I think at the moment they've got, like, a bat talk happening and an owl talk
okay,
where they take the kids, they take people around, so, yeah,
okay,
just as a whole, them themselves are doing amazing things.
okay,
So, yeah,
interesting.
that's the environmental center.
I've never heard of a bat. It sounds yeah, like from a Marvel comic or something. A bat walk, an owl walk. Okay.
Mm,
Um, I
mm.
know owls are kind of creepy, so I know that's probably an evening thing. But yeah, anyway, to be honest, I don't really know much about the environment except that I enjoy it. And it should be protected. But don't ask me about trees, and I don't really know much. Um, and that's not me bragging about ignorance. It's just anyway. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the environment. You mentioned it was your guys' first show there for the is it for the most probably for the year because it's still third week. So just give us a little bit of background about comedy in the park. And what's the show
Well,
about?
okay, it's a bit of a story. My business partner and I, Bridget, we actually we did a show at the end of last year. It was a fundraiser for somebody, and
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
decided let's.
I covered that show. I remember it.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. So, we were looking, we actually loved the space, and we loved the fact that the space that we did it in was centralized in Blairgowrie. And we thought, let's try and build a venue within the area. And the venue that we were talking to initially, unfortunately fell through. And somebody said to us, why don't you look at the environmental center? Because they've got a beautiful space, a beautiful on-site theater, that they host for a lot of talks and things like that. And there was a theater running there before, and
Okay.
it hasn't been running for a while. And we went there, we spoke to the people who run the space, and they said they are most willing to have another theater running there. And they're actually quite excited about it because my one of the comedians has actually done work there before as Comedy in the Park.
Mm.
And he was quite keen to get back into it. So we're kind of rejuvenating his concept of Comedy in the Park. And we have now found a space that we can host the Whirlwind Theater. So
Fantastic.
it is our very first show at that venue, although we
Yeah.
have been running I've been running comedy shows for over 10 years, maybe closer to 20 years. So it's just the venue itself that's new. We are not new. We've been around in the business for a million years. We're like old hats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but this one, we love the fact that it's a space that isn't being utilized at the moment. We are bringing it back. We're bringing comedy to Blairgowrie and Victory Park, which is also very nice because it's so close to the residents in that area. They don't have to drive very far
Mm.
to go and see some very good entertainment. And we've got some fantastic comedians for our first show, and it will be an ongoing thing that we're going to be doing.
Okay, great, man. You talk about ongoing. So, is there any other scheduled events coming up for that you've got planned for the rest of the year yet, or is that still
So at the moment, we have booked the third Saturday of every month. We'll be hosting Comedy
okay?
in the Park there
Okay.
with a different lineup. So it's
Mm.
third Saturday, and then the first Saturday of every month, we're doing an earlier show. It's the acoustic sessions, so we'll be doing unplugged and acoustic music.
Okay,
So that will
interesting.
start a little bit earlier in the day, so that if people do want to go out and have a bigger party in
Mm,
the evening, they can
mm,
still do
mm,
that.
mm.
But we're going to have a little pop-up restaurant that opens 2 hours before each show, so you can come and get a little bite to eat. And we've
Mm.
got a licensed bar, so it's even though we're a very small theater, we've got everything that the big guys have got.
Yeah, especially a bar. It's really important.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah, no, you mentioned about your collaboration with Buzz Ive, with
Mm.
Bridget. Can you tell us somewhat about a little about the collaboration, what you guys are working on? I mean, obviously this show, but maybe you can just expand a little bit on that.
Yeah, so Bridget and I have actually been working together for many years.
Mm,
In the last couple of years, we've been working on lots of projects together. So she comes from a wonderful theatre background,
yeah.
um, and so it actually coming her side from the theatre side and my side from the artist management and the comedy side, it's such a
Mm,
perfect mix.
mm,
And we've actually got another person, Jack, who is going to be working with us on all the musical side of it. But
mm.
the actual theater itself is it's mine and Bridget's baby. And then yeah, the food side of it, I'm going to mention, you might even know, is my beloved husband is also a comedian,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
he is
yeah, yeah.
also a
I
chef.
know it.
Yeah, so he's also a chef. So he's actually bringing the food and the pop-up restaurant side of it. So
Makes
it's really
sense. Yeah.
become like a little family, a little thing. So we've all got our part. Um,
Mm,
Bridget's fantastic because she's so knowledgeable when it comes to the theatre side of it. I've never run a theatre myself. I've done venues, but never an actual
near the
theatre.
theater.
So she's
Mm.
got some great ideas as well. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I know Bridget is pretty well networked throughout Gauteng. She like knows everybody, like everybody. Every time I'm
Yes.
yeah, yeah, it's actually yeah, it'll be fascinating to see her phone book because like everybody's name is there. Like everybody who matters in the entertainment industry, like that. Yeah, that's impressive. So let me just give her a shout out, so big up Bridget for that. I think she does incredible work. Especially around the
Mm.
theater scene as you mentioned. Just more one question just before we get to the lineup and about the show itself. You mentioned like your husband Chris Forrest with these don't burn your sausage. I know I've covered a few of his shows, and I know the chef. What's the name of the show?
Pete Goffwood.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
was,
yeah.
Master Chef and Ultimate
Master
Breyfest
Chef. There we
Breyman,
go.
yeah.
Right. That's yeah, yeah, that over there. So I mean that is a brand, and as a show has been coming on for some while, for some time, and I know he's got a bit of a following there
Mm.
too. So are you guys just pretty much just merging everything in together into the single venue? So bringing in all the
Um No, we're actually not. We are so the space is great. It lends itself to quite a lot of different and smaller productions. Um, but I think Don't Burn Your Sausage. We're actually doing 3 shows later next month, all around the place. So even though we have got almost a home where we can
mm,
do things, we are still going to be traveling. We are going to be doing shows around the
ah
country.
yeah, makes sense.
So we're not stuck in one space. It's just another opportunity for people to have a space to perform in, because especially after lockdown, I mean, I know it's a few years back, but we lost a lot of venues. Especially in the comedy industry, we lost all the comedy clubs that were dedicated to comedy. Um, and it's been difficult trying to get stand-up comedy to the masses again unless you're doing the bigger theater shows.
Mm,
And the problems that come with the bigger shows is the cost. So you battle to fill the rooms, I think, because people don't have that cash to just go and
yep,
spend 400 rand on a show.
yep,
So what's different about ours is it's a small room. So even if we have a small audience, it doesn't seem like it's
yeah,
quiet.
yeah.
It's only 185 seats, but we're offering pensioner discounts right across the board for all shows. So already I've got some great feedback from the older community saying that they can now actually afford to go out and see things.
That's interesting.
But we're also going to be offering children's discounts, and we're going to be doing children's shows. So we're already in talks with a lot of suppliers about doing different things. And we've been requested to do old movies. So one of the pensioners that lives in the area, she's already requested Lassie, the original. I don't know where I'm going to find that, but I'm looking for
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that's what we like, is because I think as much as the big theaters are there, they serve a purpose. But if you're going
Uh,
to go to one of the bigger theaters, suddenly you're Ubering there, and
uh,
it's going
uh,
to cost a
uh,
lot.
uh,
You have to get dinner, you've got to get your tickets, and it's a huge
yeah.
production. Whereas this, you could probably come hopefully every weekend and see
Uh,
something different. And it's not going to break the bank either. And the comedians have now got somewhere that they can go on a more regular basis.
that's actually, you actually raised a few, one or two very interesting points. The fact that how many comedy venues has actually closed down since COVID. I'm actually aware
Mm.
of, well, in the arts in general, because it's not, COVID affected everybody. And
Mm.
it's like what, over 5 or 6 years later, you've now finally found a venue, and it makes sense to start small. So
Yeah.
just a quick follow-up question. You were saying about well, two, but I'll get to the other one. Um, you were talking. Are you guys gonna cater mostly for the areas around the Delta Park area, marketing wise and so forth?
So at the moment we're I think we are targeting probably about a 5 kilometer radius around there. But that's by no means are we limiting it to that, but we're just
Mm,
starting there. It's always nicer
mm,
to start with a
yep.
closer community.
Yep.
And the Blair Gowrie, Linden, Craig Hall communities are actually very supportive. And I've already spoken to quite a few businesses in the area where we're going to try and collaborate. So Delta Cafe, which is in the Craig Hall side, they are going to start doing after hours drinks and things like that, like post show, and people can actually walk from our theatre down through through the park to them, so it's easily accessible. I've also reached out to a lovely old lady called Shirley who works in Delta Park and does a lot of the management and maintenance of the park, and she's got a great community who follows her. So what we're going to be doing is once we get settled and sorted and everything, we're going to start a fund that's going to help her with a couple of projects within the park
That's
itself, because
fantastic.
if we're there if we're there, we might as well try and give back to that area. But those communities are so strong and they're so vocal, especially on
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
I think we're going to start with them, and then hopefully word will start to
Yeah. Yeah.
spread
Yeah.
out
Yeah. Yeah.
to the outlying areas.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Thanks for sharing that. Just
Mm.
one more follow-up question on there. You mentioned something about doing children's shows. So is that comedy or kiddie stuff like drawing and face painting and so forth?
Um, it's funny that you say comedy. I never actually thought about it. No, we're looking at doing some children's theatre. Um,
Oh,
my my youngest, she's 10, and for I don't know what I did in a previous life because now I live with two of them. She has decided that she wants to be an actress and a comedian.
oh
So
no.
maybe I should get her. So maybe I should get her on stage and she could do a couple of shows. But no, so we're looking at more we are going to try and bring in some children's theatre.
Mm,
But we're also looking at showing some of the older children's movies. Because we do have a projector and a big screen there,
mm,
so we're looking at bringing in the movies for them. But also, we're open to listening to our audiences. So if the
mm,
audiences have got an idea of what they want,
mm,
we're very open to that.
mm,
We want to give
mm,
people what they want. So when I was chatting to
mm,
Shirley from
mm,
Delta Park, she was saying that she would love to see classical music because
mm.
the older generation seem to enjoy that sort of thing, and
Yeah,
that's not always an
yeah,
opportunity for them.
yeah.
So I'm already looking at bringing in some classical stuff, and I know Bridget's got a quite a good connection there, for classical
Yeah.
arrangements to bring in. I have already one of the interesting things is I'm looking at a drag show.
Okay.
I've already been chatting to a couple of drag queens where we're doing cabaret where it's like a sing-along.
Mm.
Um, because somebody said to me that they loved they went to something like that before, and they get there, they have a couple of glasses of wine or some champagne, and they all sing along to a drag show. And it's, I mean, let's bring it. And strangely enough, yesterday somebody said, why don't we do a viewing of all the Star Wars movies
Mm.
from the very beginning right through, and do dress up. So you do dress up, you all come, and you and two of my friends, they call themselves the Geek Squad. They love all of that sort of stuff. So I listened to them. I thought, well, if they want to do something like that, there has to be a whole community out there who would enjoy
Mm.
something like that. So
Mm.
it is about listening to
Fantastic.
what the audience, and trying to do something different. You know, we don't want to be a run of the mill theater. We want to do interesting things.
Fantastic, man. I just have to comment on one or two things there. You mentioned, firstly, catering for the parents and the children. Not many venues
Mm.
do that. I cover
Yeah.
quite a few shows across the country, and it's usually a very set audience, and it's usually the tax-paying bracket, the working class
Mm.
bracket, because that's where the money is. Very few people cater for the
Yeah.
one above and the one below. So that's fascinating. And the second point I just wanted to highlight this is that you're listening to what um, your audience, your demographic is saying, and you're catering towards that. Yeah, that's also something I've noticed post COVID. That more and more artists are taking a bit more serious. Is that as much as you're bringing the art to them, you're also catering around their needs, because that's important. Whereas maybe in the past they had a bit of leeway, you could always just do what you want to do, and people were sort of, yeah, it's your art on your terms.
Yeah.
But that's fascinating. That's just something interesting that I've noticed, how that has been sort of changing post COVID. So that's just a point. But let's get to the lineup. I know your lineup changes with every show. So can you just highlight? I know your husband is performing, Chris Forest. Um, is there
Oh,
any other
you
names?
have to
And
mention the name now. Oh. Yeah. So yes, unfortunately, he does come up quite a bit. He's here somewhere as well. I can't ignore him when it comes to putting the lineups together.
yeah,
So
I get it.
he is there.
Association. Mm,
Yeah. So we've got Chris Forrest. He's going to be emceeing that evening. And then Mojak Lohoko, who is actually
yeah,
one of the comedians that I also manage. So he'll be
yeah,
coming through on the evening. So great name to have.
yeah. He's a funny
Nick
dude.
Goliath. Yeah, Nick Goliath, who is Goliath names come up all over. So
Mm,
Nick he's so funny, and we're doing quite a lot of work with him. Well, we have been for the last year, so he's great to work with. And then there's a new guy, Ray Deploy. He's an up and coming. I saw him recently actually at one of our other shows, and he's hilarious. He's so funny, and I think he's going to be making some good waves coming up. So those are our four. And yeah, every month it is going to be changing. So it'll be a fresh bunch that come in.
mm.
And yeah, we're going to be bringing in maybe a little bit of Afrikaans as well.
Interesting.
Just, listening to what people want, and
Mm.
also seeing what kind of audiences come, because we do want to just make sure that we are catering to everybody. Look, the comedy shows, we do advise no under 16s, because it can get a little wild.
Yeah.
But I like your idea about bringing in like kiddie friendly. I must run that by the guys and
That's a big market. If you look at a restaurant chain like Spa, for example, one of the reasons why they're
mm,
so successful is their children thing. Parents with kids got very few venues, or events, that they can go to with their kids, where they can leave their kids one side. It's safe. That's always a big thing. Safe,
mm,
entertained, and usually some form of, uh, maybe not educational, but something creative. That thing is
yes.
pretty popular. So they know that when they go and get their kids, they're tired, they can just go to bed and
Oh yeah. Oh, believe me, I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old here, so I kind of have to think out of the box when it comes to them. That's why I was like, no, I definitely want to do some more children's things. But I like the idea of possibly a comedy a comedy, a family-friendly comedy.
That'll be very
Yeah.
interesting, and I think it'll be very challenging, but in a good way for comedians to write sort of for that
Mm.
audience. That's really pushing them.
Yeah, they
And
might
just
hate me. They might, 'cause suddenly they have to do extra work.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure that'll take some research there, for sure. But I do believe that is a serious. I mean, yeah, I can actually go on and on
Mm.
about that. 'Cause I do shows yet at home as well. And you definitely need to usually have the children in the front. Yeah, yeah, it's a thing.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
um just a follow-up question on the lineup, because you mentioned that you guys change your lineup often. If there are any comedians listening to this that is trying to hustle for stages or platforms and so forth, yeah, how does that process work?
So we're obviously doing Comedy in the Park as our own production.
Mm,
Um, we are also I've actually already been approached by a few comedians because obviously
mm.
in the comedy
Yeah,
circuit
yeah,
in the
yeah.
industry. Um, a few of them want to come and do shows, so almost like a rehearsal space. So, like for example, when they do the National Arts Festival or they do Car and things like that, they can't just go to those festivals and get on stage and do their show. They have to work it. They need to see
Yeah,
what
yeah,
works, what doesn't
yeah,
work,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
need spaces for that. So
yeah.
I've actually been approached by a couple of comedians who want to come and utilize the space to do almost like pre-shows
Mm,
to
mm, mm.
audiences and work that material. So they can get in touch with us by all means. We've got venue hiring fees, but what that's nice is it includes like their technical and their box office and all of that. So
Mhm.
we've got that mini theatre space for them to rehearse to. And yes, I've been approached by comedians and also improvised comedy. So two
Mm,
troupes have contacted me already about
mm,
doing shows with us. So we are very open to doing our own shows as well as
mm.
co-productions and supporting shows.
Interesting, interesting, yeah. And just for the listeners, I'll add all the details in the description box below. So if anything is missed or you want to follow up with anything, you can get hold of Tabitha, and I'll definitely add all her contact, her email address, and so forth. And let's wrap up there, Tabitha. Tell us about the event details. Well, we know it's on the 21st of March. The gates open
Mhm.
at 5 o'clock. But the gig starts at 7, correct?
7. That's right, yes. So we've got, as far as I know, I haven't got the finalized menu yet, but the pop-up restaurant opens at 5 o'clock. So we've got burgers, wings, and chips. I think that's what the final one. But I will be posting that on our socials prior to the time, just so that everybody knows
Mm,
what's on offer. And we will have a vegetarian option as well. And also our bar will open at 5 o'clock too.
yeah,
Luckily within the park area, there is a seating area outside. So if it is nice, they can still sit there. Otherwise, inside in the foyer, there's space for people to enjoy their food and their drinks. And we'll probably be playing some background music inside.
yeah.
So yeah, we've got the whole thing going. Food, drinks, show. It's exactly what you want.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Is the tickets available only at the door, or is there
They're
webmaster
available
that you
at
can try?
Cricket.
Yeah.
No, so we're at Quicket. So we'll be doing all of our shows through Quicket, which also makes life a little bit easier. Actually, hold on, let me show you this. Haha, because I've got it. So these have been posted on all of our socials. We handed these out at the
Okay, great.
weekend. So this QR code, if you see it, you just scan that, and all of our shows are on there. So that is the Comedy in the
Yeah.
Park. And then all of the other things that we will be doing. So we're on Instagram, Facebook, email, Quicket.
Yeah, I was
We
gonna
also
ask about
have
that.
a WhatsApp. We also have a WhatsApp group that is admin only, and I post all of our upcoming shows on that. So if you can't find us, you haven't looked hard enough.
Fantastic. I was gonna ask about the closing question and your social media handle. So just give us the actual handle. Is it under yeah,
It's the Whirlwind Theater.
the Whirlwind Theater. Okay, fantastic, man. I'll add all that details in the description box below as well. Along with
Great.
you mentioned a WhatsApp group. I think that's always it's quite popular as well amongst event managers and so forth. And I think that's a wrap. Uh,
Good.
Tabitha Hoy Forest, thank you very much for coming through. All the best for
No,
the
thank you for
event
having me.
on the 21st, which is this coming Saturday. I will publish this episode. I'll work on it today, so it'll be out on Wednesday morning. I usually try to do it before 10:30, but I'll tag you and I'll let you know beforehand. And then I
Perfect.
usually wait 2 or 3 days, and then I publish shorts. Which is I usually do about 5 or 6 per episode. And I push that on all my social media pages, and those do pretty well. Um, so it'll be all little
Awesome.
highlights of what we spoke, and yeah, I'll tag you on that too. So again, all the best for for the event on Friday. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
Take care, man. Be in touch. Bye bye.
Cheers, Bye.